And what changes because of the comps? You talked about BLG, Fofo taking a step back. Well, Fofo doesn't take step backs, as you mentioned, but for EDG with Scout on LeBlanc, how much can he try and abuse this one? As we go into game number 1, EDG are 6th at the moment here in the LPL, BLG 15th. A lot of expectations riding on EDG's back, and BLG need to get some wins on the board now to keep their playoff dreams alive.
So looking at the way this early game should play out, Junja has control of the jungle. Rek'Sai beats out Jarvan handily, and he's got his pick of the litter as to where he wants to gank. Audi will have control in the top lane, could try to set the setup. My main concern is Scout in the mid lane. I think ganking Fofo over and over again, setting Kassadin behind, will provide EDG such a strong mid game that they can snowball through.
Especially when you see LeBlanc into Kassadin, you're like, okay, we know how this one's going to go. Fofo, of course, taking fleet footwork into this matchup. It's not often that we see anything else into this Kassadin, as we're seeing a lot more Kassadins in the LPL. We're seeing a lot more Kassadins globally as well. We know over in the LCK they're picking it up. I'm not sure about LEC. We didn't see them playoffs last night from memory. Yeah. That was about 4 AM our time, so excuse me if I'm wrong there. But Jinjiao also Halo Blades Kalista here for what feels like the one decent lane for BLG.
And imagine this is where Meteor will try and have some sort of impact. It's very difficult when you're against the likes of the Taric, because you've got a lot of healing, you've got the shields that can come in, and the stun can provide great setup or disengage. But he does have Shinmo to help him out with trying to lock down Hope in these scenarios.
Smart things going down though as EDG walked down. First brush, they knew that Jinjiao and Shinmo were waiting there as the Leona Kalista. And lane goes pretty much normal to start things off. Jarvan straight buff to buff. Meteor on blue buff right now, setting for the potential of bottom side, while for Junja, he goes red to blue, heading towards top.
I imagine Meteor is going to be a little bit quiet in this early game, because look at the level 6s that are coming through on BLG. Everyone hits a really critical mass when we get to that point, so I think Meteor will hang on, wait until his bot lane has gotten those ultimates available, and look to play down towards that lane. On the opposite side, Junja, as we said, wants to get out early and start making his impact known before these key ultimates come online.
Scout has a ward, but he didn't put it down towards Raptors. That was interesting. Good trade onto Fofo in the end, but Junja now looking for vertical jungling. I think pings were going down. Raptor camp is still there, but Meteor behind mid lane turret. This is either going to be a flex or a really bad moment. Tremor Sense working well. Now into Meteor, who's got double buffs. The knock-up is there. You don't see it on Spectator, but Meteor is out. Bullied from his Raptors. Fofo can't do anything about it.
Bit of miscommunication from Junja and Scout, though. Scout had actually roamed off to the right-hand side of your screen, you can see there, to place the ward. So it meant that he couldn't support Junja in trying to burst out Meteor. Still though, Meteor will be forced back down towards the bottom side, miss out his Raptors, but can get the Scuttle Crab instead.
Left a couple of them behind as well as we go towards Scuttle on the top side. Full control here for EDG's early game so far. ADD getting pummeled up here. Already a 10 CS advantage as you'd expect. Same in the mid lane too. Jungle even for now, but Junja's still on this side of the map and is still behind enemy lines.
Well, you said it already, Hysterics. The bottom lane, pretty heavily in favor of BLG. So, hey, Junja, play towards top side. Try to help out Audi and Scout. And EDG are in a little bit of a weird scenario here where they're really strong when they kind of get to 1 to 2 items. But as you start to crest over into that 4th to 5th item, that's where BLG will come online with Fofo. So EDG are looking to have a strong early game, take a step back as Kalista starts to pick up 1 item, and then come online again as Hope hits a second.
But now, here we go. There's a top lane gank onto ADD. He's going to have to charge away. Junja everywhere so far. Meteor nowhere. You talked about him having a quiet game in the jungle. That's exactly that. As Junja now going to help get the push out for the top lane for Audi. And ADD is going to have to receive the wave at turret.
Meteor has snuck in, though, to try and steal away some of these wolves, so trying to help out. Shinmo here is trying to help push in this wave.
Yep.
Realizes, hey, look, Taric can't really dive turrets at this stage, so...
Off LeBlanc, I mean, what are you going to do with a wave this size, right?
And Fofo's been taking a lot of punishment from Scout, so trying to help Fofo get the reset. I like his has set Mako up to try and get some vision, though, in the river to spot out where Shinmo's going to be.
And look at BLG Fofo's summoners as well. He's got teleport. So the availability of walking to lane and having that summoner when he's near 6 could be a big play for BLG, especially when Dragon has just spawned in this game. But ADD baby, that ain't good.
That is really close for ADD. I'm waiting for this level 6. I think ADD realizes as well that, hey, look, I can't stick around in this lane. One more wave and out he hits 6.
He's got teleport available. You expect him to just walk back to lane here. Stops the last minion as Audi clears it away. And even after harping on that, ADD still behind 10 CS, which is okay, and stops the back of Audi. Cheeky. Very cheeky.
We can see, though, EDG are still taking... Ooh.
Second time. Base breaker doesn't connect. ADD, actually, that's the big brain play. He's going to do it a third time.
Do it again,
Stop
yeah.
backing in there. Is he going to back this time around? Look top. Yeah, he's out. Okay. Audi just didn't learn from the mistakes.
Watch where Rek'Sai is, though, looking to clear out this Krugs and then try and path top.
Again.
Meteor has read this, though. He's also pathing that way. That's why we're seeing the big trade from Audi here.
And ADD at half health. This is another opportunity. It's about the Bellows Breath with the knockup. How does that connect? Is Junja now going to be spotted out towards Krug? Has a level lead over Meteor. In terms of the jungle versus jungle, Junja winning out pretty handedly. And even after getting spotted out, ADD still in a very bad position.
LeBlanc is roaming as well. Here comes the play.
Ball the forward got out. He flashes in. Perfect timing. The knockup does come through. ADD with the Bellows Breath, but Scout is in as well. Great dive by EDG, and first blood going to Scout and LeBlanc.
And this is how you punish a Kassadin pick early. Scout has control of the mid lane. Right, we're 3-man in this top side, and this is how EDG always set up their advantages. Play towards top in the first few minutes. After they set Audi onto a good pace, rotate down towards bot, look towards that dragon, and even though Fofo has hit his level 6, with that kill going up to Scout, EDG will certainly have control of this.
Thought ADD was in good position, but really nice from Audi.
Great flash from Audi, avoids the knockup, and then it's easy pickings for a Scout. You can see there, Electrocute comes in, and Ornn goes down.
Nothing Meteor can do as he stands by and watches his top laner die. Now without TP, had to walk to lane. One turret plating going over to the side of Audi as well, and he has about a 16 CS lead for now. And is able to walk back to lane with a Phage in hand. The Scout now might be in a bit of trouble. Flag and Drag is easily done here. Scout distortions out. Fofo can't follow that up. But adding a bit of pressure to the mid laner of EDG, Meteor finally with something, however small.
No TP either, so Scout will have to walk back to lane. BLG could look to just start up this dragon if they wanted to with the push they have on the bottom side.
But it is warded out. You can see control ward in the back of the pit, so BLG will know. Junja going to the top side anyway. Notice still that level advantage. Level 6 Rek'Sai here for EDG. And towards the top side, now that ADD has some push, he's like, I need to know when this Rek'Sai is coming.
We'll spot out ADD moving in, but this is the big difference between BLG of old and BLG of new. BLG of old would have realized, hey, we can use this back timing to get this dragon. Jin Zhao and Shinmo, move on over. You're not going to lose any CS in the bottom lane because of where the wave is positioned, but instead they're not making these plays to try and set themselves up for the late game. And this is perfect for EDG, who should have lost more off of that pick onto Scout.
Comes back to the conversation of talking about how desynced BLG have been in the past. This game one, so far it's been a little bit slower than I guess we were expecting coming through, where BLG tend to make mistakes the early game, tends to fall out of favor, and it rolls away from them before they can catch it. For BLG, 1k gold lead against them right now is okay, as yet we can start the dragon, and BLG are nowhere nearby.
Jin Zhao and Shinmo got pushed in the bottom lane. Right, EDG can pick this up. EDG are delighted here. This is a cheap dragon that they really shouldn't have got their hands onto. And now, for a team that is looking to try and hit their mid-game stride super hard, that 20 to 30 minute mark, well, now you have set yourself up to try and get this Dragon Soul in and around that timing as well.
Ocean coming up next, 9 minutes in. Scout returns to the lane afterwards as well. Now, he's not in a CS lead anymore in this lane, but he's still keeping up. Plus, he got that earlier kill. So gold's still in his favor as EDG won it all. They just picked up the dragon. They're going to be spotted out starting Herald here. It's about whether BLG can contest.
Well, watch the rotations. Maycom and Hope are actually slightly slow to this, so Junja's going to pull back and wait for them to arrive. We'll give time for Jin Zhao to come up and join the rest of BLG, though.
But Jin Zhao backed even slower than Hope and Mako. So Junja continues this forward. Meteor and Shinmo in front of the objective. Scout jumps straight onto the jungler, trying to burn him out, and comes ever so short. Fofo wants to jump on in. Rift Herald's on a journey.
Audi backed as well, so now they've got to wait for Audi to arrive for this 5v5 to kick off. EDG, though, should be able to win out if it gets to a 5v5 scenario just off of the early game.
And if we're not at Herald, we're mid. EDG still ARAM like no tomorrow. We return and back to Herald.
It's back to you in the river. I swear. We're kind of looking here. EDG very grouped up. Meteor looks like he's trying to push forward here. I don't think they want to try and take this engage if they can poke and prod and try and push them off, but unfortunately BLG don't have any sort of poke right now. It's EDG who can look to try and set this up with Scout, putting poke onto Jinjiao.
Everyone just testing the waters here. EDG finally give up and move Hope and Mako to the top side first. While the bottom lane of BLG are pretty slow to the trade. They send 2 mid, they send 2 top. And EDG are back towards Herald. We're doing this dance all day long.
Shinmo backs. BLG would give up this rift.
I guess so.
But they're getting damage on that top lane turret. Not a huge amount from what I can see on the mini-map has gone onto that mid lane turret either. So they're free to go for this. EDG call the bluff of BLG and they come out on top.
Ward going to spot it down at 4.5k. Maybe it's not too late, but Scout is on a ward as well. Do BLG turn on this mid laner instead as they group up 5 in the river? 4 in front of their Herald. Meteor's just running towards it. Hang on. You haven't really reset it. Rift Herald's still here. Junja's going to jump back in as the fight starts on the back end. Herald is going to go the way of EDG. His Call the Forge God didn't really do much. And they just walk away.
BLG are so disjointed in these fights.
Jesus.
The Call of the Forge Guard comes over, but Meteor was already in the pit. He's jumping out the back line, and then because Meteor has separated his team with the separated from his team with the flag and drag, doesn't have to wait to get back in. So EDG in a more unit focus can push BLG back.
They are unified. Exactly right. I mean, Rift Herald goes over to the weight of Junja, and even though BLG have caught up in some of this gold, we've got a Herald that can really accelerate this game, give some more gold in the back pockets of EDG. Also notice that the reason that BLG have caught up on a lighter note is the fact that mid lane Kassadin Fofo has just been farming while all this calamity's been going on across the map. ADDs has been keeping up with Audi as well, so that's a big thing to mention. Plus Meteor has finally caught up in level.
So we need to see how EDG are going to look to snowball this advantage here. They have the Rift Herald, can start to use it on this top side of the map if they want to crack that one open and then have a lot of this gold go into Hope. Because when you look at the EDG composition, quite a lot of their damage does rely, or consistent damage relies on Hope in these team fights.
The Aphelios, who has a very high win rate still in the LPL. Jinjiao pushing against Audi here. You can see that the first item on Summoner's Rift was the Rod of Ages, followed by the Bladed Ruin King for Jinjiao, so at least BLG have hit those key 1 items on the damage dealers in this team. What we were talking about before, there are only 2 damage dealers in BLG, the rest are tanks.
Jinjiao also completely skipped his boots. This is usually the first item you see picked up on Kalista because it lengthens your jump distance and provides that attack speed that's really crucial for you to start moving about. But Jinjiao has completely forgotten it, realizing, hey look, we're not going to be looking for team fights at the moment. Instead, I just want to be able to survive in lane, any sort of poke that comes through from Filios.
I think ADD is not in a good position. Flashes away, but Scout has pretty low cooldowns at this point. He flashes forward. Here comes the chain again, the Sigil onto the Ornn. One more auto would have done it. And ADD will walk away, but Scout is trying to flex with the LeBlanc here in game 1.
They'll also be able to push in this wave and try and get another one. Well, it won't get another turret plate. There's 5 seconds left before they go down.
How low is it, Dagda? Let's look. Show me top.
Oh, so close.
He was there.
Sad times.
I think
for
Fofo
EDG.
was almost like at the same position at the bottom side as well. By the way, tier Kassadin. Ultra scaling build coming from Fofo.
And I like it. This is where you're going. Hey, BLG have realized we do not want to fight at any point in this game. We already talked about the different builds that have come in. They will take over when we get to the level 16 of Fofo, but it's about getting to that point. And EDG not contesting for the Dragon gives a lot of that, or a lot of more strength and time over to BLG. We said EDG are looking to set up the soul point for when they're strongest, and they've hit these 2 items. But BLG now stealing that one away, delay the inevitable of EDG going towards those dragons, and sets them up nicely for Fofo to scale.
Maybe not so inevitable at this point. Gold in favor of BLG, not something we've been saying much in this split. That was a really strange play from EDG. The Herald went down and they just left, while BLG were already around Dragon. So that was probably one of the worst Heralds we've seen in a long time.
Almost as bad as the one that didn't charge. Almost.
But that was yeah, look, that was just bad. You're right. You're right. Should have never questioned that. But after the Herald play, after the Dragon you mentioned, you know, Ocean going the way of BLG, summons an Infernal Rift. And an Infernal Rift, you know, you could say works for both teams here. But Infernal Dragons to be taken, and across the board, at this point in the game, I'm thinking, all right, well, BLG have managed to slow this game down. BLG have managed to go towards the condition you're talking about. And Fofo is level 11. I mean, this Kassadin is very quickly going to become an issue. And Scout at this point with that one kill doesn't look that much more mightier than Fofo.
He's trying to play off. Scout is trying to play off towards this side lane and see if he can work on the towers. And this is classic EDG. They oftentimes end up in this 1-3-1, especially when they've got the double teleport, and start to funnel a lot of resources into Scout where it's possible. But as he said, I mean, you're not looking to really poke down this tower too much. They've even swapped Fofo up there to try and do a better job against Scout in clearing out those waves before they hit the tower. So EDG haven't really accelerated as much as we would have liked to. And now, again, BLG are happy to just keep farming, keep getting a couple of items under their belt, while Fofo's steadily getting those levels under.
You can see that they want to put Scout against the Ornn. Scout actually backed as soon as he saw Fofo, and they sent Audi to the top lane. So I guess they're feeling pretty confident about this one, and yeah, I guess you would after that, but Fofo can extend the trade back. As Audi with a better HP regen in the kit should be fine. Junja's working his way up to the top lane here as well. Turret very low. But Fofo has 2 levels on this set.
BLG are following behind Junja, though. There's Meteor, and here comes Shinmo as well.
Yeah, the Leona follows too. Teleport is available on ADD if he wants to join. Scout has the same, but just lulling about at this point in the game, and ADD back with Scout means Scout knows he has no flash.
Again, we're seeing EDG, though, not set up for this Rift Herald. We saw it with Dragon, now with the Rift Herald. And BLG own the river right now.
Do you like sandwiches? Well, only one of these people can't get out, and that's Shinmo, so they turn to him instead. Meteor and Fofo are still there. Shinmo with the stopwatch to slow down time, but the Solar Flare does that as well. Come on! Kill him, and they do. EDG in front of the Rift Herald as well. They've now got a 4 versus 5.
They're actually just going to turn, it looks like, as a 3-man towards mid. See if they can crack that one open as ADD is still on the bottom side.
Scout trying to burn down Jinjiao half health, and he does. But Jinjiao still clears out the way. More time available here for BLG.
Putting pressure on top and mid, but unfortunately, because they're not actually getting to hit these turrets right now, ADD is the one that's winning out on this trade. So EDG, again, falling. They should be ahead in the play, but they're actually losing out when it comes to map pressure.
Should we talk about time here? Because this Herald is about to go down for EDG. BLG and Edward Gaming right now have some of the longest game time in the LPL. Like, they are some of the slowest teams. And last year with EDG, you wouldn't necessarily say that. BLG, you would 100%. EDG now joining that train means we're set up for these 40-minute, 50-minute games even. Even with Rift Herald going down, let's see what happens after that.
Well, mid lane turret will go down, and now it makes it far more difficult for BLG to control these side lanes. You can already see Fofo's backing away. He does not want anyone from EDG to sneak his way in behind them. And with that, should give Audi enough time to clear this top wave. And now that injection of gold will work. But we do need to see Audi try and contest for this Dragon. If 2 are going over to the side of BLG, it becomes far easier for BLG to hold on to, 3 more levels is all that's needed on Fofo.
So you expect to fight 15 seconds, and Jinjiao resetting means that he's going to be ready to go back, picks up a Zeal for this next fight with a dagger in hand. Versus the Infinity Edge on Hope, because I know at this point I'm looking at the AD carry of EDG and BLG. I'm also looking at those mid laners, the main damage sources coming out of both teams.
See, Hope has finished his Infinity Edge into Zeal. This is usually where he'll hit his stride, and Junja and Scout and even Audi can start to look for these flanks into the back line, see if they can get onto the likes of Jinjiao, as Mako is there to keep Hope alive from the likes of Fofo.
Scout not doing that much onto Fofo, but this guy's become tanky. Level 13 Kassadin now, 10 stacks of the Rod of Ages in front of this fight.
Audi's top lane. This is 4 versus 5 at the moment, and there's very few TP wards.
Okay, and that's just it. 5 versus 4 for the time being. Call the Forge God going to come through as the Moonlight Vigil's there as well. Teleport now finally getting channeled as Audi just gets slowed down. Junji gets half health. Big heal from Mako. But does it matter? Scout on the side, can't flank. The biggest lull I've ever seen.
BLG are going to win this game.
Nothing's happening.
BLG are going to win because the EDG are not putting the pressure where they should be felt. They're allowing Fofo time to scale. Yeah, he hasn't completed his second item yet, but it's the level 16 that's really crucial for the Cassidy, and he's well on his way to that.
He'll be there in 2 seconds at this rate, to be quite honest, because Fofo is at a level lead this entire game. He's 30 CS up over the LeBlanc. This lane doesn't feel like he lost it at any point, to be quite honest. He's almost towards the Archangel stuff, the second item at 20 minutes.
And when we were talking about the way EDG like to play, we were saying, hey, we like to see Scout and Hope on these things that can reset fights, where you can have the likes of the Azir, Emperor's Divide, Chains of Corruption if Hope is on Varus, but we don't really see that. And the reason why it's so crucial for EDG is that they're really slow in pulling the trigger. Oftentimes they're turning fights around when they're the ones that are engaged on, but BLG have realized this, and they're just not engaging in these fights. So EDG, especially with Junja off of the Sejuani or the Jarvan, don't know how to start these fights off.
After what was like an early game where EDG was so coordinated towards Rift Throw, well, BLG was showing us the usual of just falling to the wayside with communication. But this seems to be more control. This seems to be more about the BLG that we knew coming into 2020. The BLG that would wait because they know they have the advantage and play it safe because they know that they are the better players in the late game. We'll see if that comes into fruition because, again, we have to test them in that fight that comes across in the next 10 minutes. Or 20.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced when it's going to come in. Look, you may get to play-by-play possibly 1 or 2 fights here, and chances are it will be when BLG have hit their stride, because right now there's nothing happening for EDG on this map. They haven't snowballed their advantages. It's very difficult for them to try and set up Baron because Scout doesn't do it very quickly, and yes, you've got the chakrams from Hope that can work through it quite fast, but as long as BLG are able to keep 1 to 2 wards in place on this, they're fine to just poke and prod and force EDG back out.
Ooh, a move here from Scout. It's onto Shinmo, so it means pretty much nothing. ADD just walks to clear a tunnel, and he's out of there. It reminds me of the part in Harry Potter, you know, in the Philosopher's Stone, where Dudley goes up to the snake pen. You know, he hits on the snake, and he goes, "Do something." And then, you know, Mr. Dudley comes through and says, "Move." Right? That's what this feels like to me. I feel like I'm Dudley, knocking on the glass of this screen and telling EDG and BLG to make a move.
It does feel like the old BLG Orangey series that we had where nobody's doing anything for, I think it was 2 kills for 35-ish minutes or something crazy.
That's not LPL. That's not my LPL. No. People in 2 games LCK on at the same time right now. Maybe this is it. Junja actually might be caught out. He can't escape. Finally, looking for blood, but he flashes away as the Belly Assault hits 3 people. We get what we want, but what's going to happen here is the ultimate comes out late from Mako, but maybe in the right time as Audi survives. The Fate's Call used unwisely on Shinmo as Scout tries to get the flank onto Fofo. He's almost found the Cassidy. Cassidy is locked up, slowed down. The ult comes in the back. Audi finally finds him engaged. He pulls them back in with the face breaker, gets the Haymaker off, and I think EDG are in a great position here until ADD and Jin Zhao get free roam, and the Aphelios take Season 10 to a bad level. ADD can't die. Jin Zhao gets everything in that fight.
Scout invested so much in trying to kill Fofo that Jin Zhao was able to free hit the entire time. Runins in a small enclosed area like that? Jin Zhao is delighted with life. Now they get to turn on towards the Baron, but the TP from Scout, he wants to get onto key carries here.
I'm not sure about this one. Fofo can just zone him out, but at least maybe it slows Baron. Never mind, Scout has to flash over the wall. And big old question mark to that one.
BLG, we said once they started to get towards this point, they'd be in a far better situation, and that is exactly what we're seeing. 15 for Fofo, not quite at the level 16 yet, but most certainly BLG are winning handily in these fights. If you watch this again, so Mako is using the Cosmic Radiance whenever ADD tosses out the ultimate, but unfortunately, with Scout here trying to jump onto Fofo, watch Jinja on the right-hand side of your screen. How many of these autos are going into several people as they're moving through this corridor is absolutely insane.
Oh, and now that we've got the taste of blood, we want to go once again. Cataclysm down, Junja caught out. He has to ult, but I think he's still dead here. Audi even jumped in. EDG, what are you doing? 2 more kills for BLG, a 3K gold lead. They have Baron, they have everything.
And BLG smell blood in the water. As you said, they've hit the point where they realize they're strong, and they are driving that knife in. And here, BLG have prepared the Dragons for themselves, ones that they really shouldn't have gotten in the early game, and at 25 minutes find themselves at Soul Point.
You can see on the side of your screen, 100% kill participation for Jin Zhao. Also has the Might of the Ruin King here, plus the QSS, and we're getting a quick replay. They face checked in front of Dragon when BLG just reset.
Yeah, a lot of strange movements here from EDG in this game. Not prioritizing Dragons, not trying to draw in fights, and this is the biggest criticism I have of EDG when Junja does get off of the Sejuani, the Jarvan, these big engage tanks, is EDG look a little bit lost as to how to approach these fights. Even if you have Junja tunnel over a wall with the likes of the Cosmic Radiance from Mako, at least it's some way of trying to get BLG to fight early or force them back. We haven't seen that.
Can you kill ADD is my question. Mako's on his way. He pops Scout for a bit. Here comes Call the Forge God. ADD still going pretty strong. This Ornn flashes away, and the cavalry has arrived. While Fofo in a side lane is pretty much unmatchable at this point. Oh, never mind. Okay, maybe you went a bit too far forward, but Audi has the ultimate available, pulls him back in, but Fofo does have the Realm Walk, but no! That was not good by Fofo, and at least it gives EDG something.
It does give them something, but BLG answer back. They take the tower in the mid lane, and you can see EDG slowly getting on towards the back foot here. Audi, yes, it's dealing well with Fofo, but the objectives are still going to BLG.
What a strange game. Really, really strange game. We're going to try ADD in the top lane again. This is just like stepping on hot coals. You're like, I want to do it. It sounds like fun. As ADD is not going to get stopped. Yeah, follow that auto.
I'm glad our observers are so disinterested in this stage as well.
Oh, I thought it was a replay of the auto, but no. We got this.
Yeah, I mean, easy pickup for Audi. I'm not sure what Fofo was thinking there.
No, neither was I, but hey, maybe this is good for Meteor. He's going to flag and drag on top for Audi. Now, remember, the set is pretty tanky at this point. Little Shinmo coming in as well. Solar Flare is going to be laid down. There's the Zenith play. Jin Zhao comes in. This is a damage source of BLG. He's on a rampage now. He's got 3 items, 4 kills. And BLG, even without Baron, is set up for bottom lane push.
You see, Fofo is still pushing mid, though, and I like this setup from BLG.
Yep. Trying
to push in both lanes, particularly as Fofo just hit that level 16 mark. So he's really strong right now. The damage that can come out from that phase walk is insane. A Rift Walk.
Yeah, he's going through a phase at that regard as well. As a Seraph Embrace now. That's been upgraded for a little bit and looking towards that 3rd item, but at this point, I don't think we're going to get there. As EDG will successfully defend the bottom lane, but look at what's coming up in 2 minutes. BLG have 80% control. That's the math. I'm counting, right? First time for math. First time for everything. 1:57 until Baron and Dragon at the same time. Soul for BLG and Baron.
And that's why BLG are backing away right now. They're trying to get their waves in shape for that Dragon that's coming up. There was pings on towards that top side to push out the wave, and then they can start to rotate down or even use the teleport that's up and available for Fofo to keep pressure on this top side and then still make the play around Baron.
He's level 16. You said this is the moment. We all know Cassidy at 16. That dude hops. Literally, we've got beer as sponsor. How is that not the best analogy? He hops. Right. And at this point, Fofo, he's 300 gold up. This is a pretty incredible performance from Fofo. I don't know, we were criticizing BLG going into this. In all seriousness, this is great. If BLG can play overall more consistent like this, then we have a team that can strive towards playoffs. Now, they're 3-7, as we talked about in the start of the show. BLG need every single win. If they lose a series, I guarantee you this team will most likely not make playoffs, right? 9 is the magic number. They have 6 series left. They have to win all of them to get that 9. And even then,
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed.
That's the big problem, is that we're going off of 9 as the magic number from 2019. We still haven't computed all the differences here.
Plus we've got more teams, so more games, right?
Exactly. So will no guarantee for BLG if they make it, but they have to put in the victory here against EDG if they hope to at least have a chance of getting that.
This is a good sign, right? For BLG, that's what people wanted to see. They wanted to see Fofo, Meteor, ADD all working together. ADD's been coming in a lot more recently. Remember, he was the 2019 top laner back when this team had Kuro, back when this team was a playoff team. In summer, remember they were in the top side of the bracket, got knocked out in the first round as BLG now looking for the engage here. EDG into a choke call, the Forge God is great, but the ultimate comes down from Mako. EDG looking for the re-engage, teleport finally comes through. Scout in the middle as well, good ult from Audi. If EDG can fight this out, it will look good, but Audi over the wall gets rendered to pieces. The re-engage from EDG, but they can't hit Junja, they can't hit Jinjiao, excuse me. The AD carry from BLG is having a ball until Aphelios jumps on in. Hope's doing it again, but Jinjiao is still alive. Scout looking for the burst onto Meteor, but hopping forward, it's 3 versus 2.
Everyone jumps onto Hope from BLG, but they back away except for Fofo. It lets EDG deal with the Kassadin, and then Hope heals back up as Aphelios things, and now starts to move in again.
In front of this Dragon Soul for BLG, it begins, but Scout
Hope and Scout can do this. Hope and Scout can do it. If they can get onto Jinjiao, they win this fight. There's no more damage for BLG.
He's on the back of the pit, Scout jumps in, but that's a mistake. The Dragon will go over, the Soul's there. They could do it, but they didn't.
They ended up jumping onto the Dragon instead of onto Jinjiao. And you could see a great call for Meteor as well to hold the flag and drag so then he could turn and burst. Now, with both of the carries from EDG down from 30 seconds, BLG are looking to take this mid inhibitor.
We've got everything on the board. 8k gold lead, this is going to grow. Junjo on the side now being spotted out by Fofo, and Fofo can challenge this. Level 17 on the Kassadin. While the rest of BLG run through the mid lane, inhibitors theirs. You said more. Well, we got 20 seconds on Scout. Maybe more is right.
10 seconds on Hope, though. They've got to try and make this play work. Audi!
Oh, into the back line. The set goes and the set dies. Fofo jumps in as well as EDG are just going to get evaporated. Jinjiao had a great game, 9-0 and 6. He was the pride of BLG this time around. And what was slow now speeds up to a mighty end for BLG.
BLG, they hold out.